Good morning, students. In today's class, we are going to deal about literary terms. There are various literary terms prescribed in your syllabus. In today's class, we're just going to take the two literary terms. The first one is novel and the second one is essay. Let us begin with novel. The term novel is now applied to a great variety of writings that have in common only the attribute of being extended works of prose fiction. As an extended narrative, the novel is distinguished from the short story and from the work of middle length called the novelette in its magnitude, as its magnitude permits a greater variety of characters, greater complication of plot or plots, an ampler development of milieu, and a more sustained and subtle exploration of character than do the shorter, hence necessarily more concentrated modes. As a prose narrative, the novel is distinguished from the long verse narratives of Chaucer, Spenser and Milton, which beginning with the 18th century, it has increasingly supplanted. Within these limits, the novel includes such diverse works such as Richardson Pamela and Sterne's Tristram Shandy, Dickens' Pickwick Papers and Henry James' The Wings of the Dove, Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises and Joyce's Ulysses. The term for the novel in most European languages is roman, which is a derivative from the medieval romance. The English name for the form, however, is derived from the Italian novella, meaning a little new thing, which was a short tale in prose. In 14th century Italy, there was a great vogue for collections of novelle, some serious and some scandalous. The best known of these collections is Boccaccio's Decameron, which is still available in English translation at any well-stocked bookstore. Another important predecessor of the novel was the picaresque narrative, which emerged in the 16th century Spain, although the most popular instance of Gil Bias 1715 was written by the Frenchman Lee Sage. After these precedents and many other, including the 17th century character, a brief sketch of a typical personality or way of life, the novel as we now think of it emerged in England in the early 18th century. In 1719, Daniel Defoe wrote Robinson Crusoe, and in 1722, Moll Flanders. Both of these are picaresque in type in the sense that they are a sequence of episodes held together largely because they happen to one person, and Moll is herself a colorful female version of the old Picaro, 12 years a whore, 5 times a wife, 12-year a thief, 8-year a transported felon in Virginia, as the title page resoundingly informs us. But Robinson Crusoe is given an enforced unity of action by its focus on the problem of surviving on an uninhabited island, which both stories present so convincing a central character set in so solid and factually realized a world that Defoe is often credited with writing the first true novels of incident. The credit for writing the first English novel of character is nearly unanimously given to Samuel Richardson for his Pamela, or Virtue Rewarded, written in 1740. Pamela is the story of a sentimental but shrewd young woman who, by prudently safeguarding her chastity, succeeds in becoming the wife of a wild young gentleman instead of becoming a debauched servant girl. The distinction between the novel of incident and the novel of character cannot be drawn sharply. But in the novel of incident, the greater weight of interest is on what the character will do next and how the story will come out. In the novel of character, it is on his motives of what he does and how he as a person will turn out. Pamela, like its greater and tragic successors Richardson Clarissa, is an epistolary novel, that is, the narrative is conveyed entirely by an exchange of letters. Later novelists have preferred alternative devices for limiting the narrative point of view to one or another single character, but the epistolary technique is still occasionally revived, for example, in Mark Harris' hilarious novel Wake Up Stupid, written in 1959. We also see that novels may have any kind of plot forms. It can be tragic, comic, satiric, or romantic. A distinction which was introduced by Hawthorne, for example, in his preface to The House of Seven Gables, and has been adopted and expanded by a number of recent critics, is that between two basic types of prose fiction, the novel proper and the romance. The novel is characterized as the fictional attempt to give the effect of realism by representing complex characters with mixed motives who are rooted in a social class, operate in a highly developed social structure, interact with many other characters, and undergo plausible and everyday modes of experience. The prose romance has its ancestors, the chivalric romance of the Middle Ages and the Gothic novels of the later 18th century. It typically deploys simplified characters, larger than life, who are sharply discriminated as heroes and villains, masters and victims. The protagonist is often solitary and isolated from a social context. The plot emphasizes adventure and is often cast in the form of the quest for an ideal or the pursuit of an enemy, and the non-realistic and occasionally melodramatic events are sometimes claimed to project in symbolic form the primal desires, hopes and terrors in the depths of human mind, and to be therefore analogous to the materials of dream, myth, ritual and folklore. Examples of romance novels as distinct from the realistic novels of Jane Austen, George Eliot or Henry James are Walter Scott's Rob Roy, Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, and the mainstream of American fiction from Poe, Cooper, Hawthorne, Melville, Mark Twain to William Faulkner and Saul Bellow. However, we have different kinds of novels. The sociological novel, which emphasizes the influence of social and economic conditions on characters and events. Often it also embodies an implicit or explicit thesis recommending social reform. The next category that we have is the historical novel, which takes its setting and some of its characters and events from history. The term is usually applied only if the historic milieu and events are fairly elaborated, developed, and important to the central narratives. The third category that we have is the regional novels, which emphasize the setting, speech, and customs of a particular locality, not merely as a local color, but as important conditions affecting the temperament of the characters and their way of thinking, feeling, and acting. Wessex and Hardy's novels, as for example, Wessex and Hardy's novels. However, in recent decades, such experimentations has reached a radical extreme. Vladimir Nabokov is a supreme technician who writes involuted fiction, a work whose subject involves its own author, genesis, and development, for example, his Pale Fire. This is also the era of what is sometimes called the anti-novel, that is, a work which is deliberately constructed in a negative fashion, relying for its effect on omitting or annihilating traditional elements of the novel, and on playing against the expectations established in the reader by the novelistic methods and conventions of the past. This much so for the literary term novel. In this we have discussed what is the distinction between the novel and the short story, what kinds of novels